This is The American on ESPN Plus, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And brought to you by the Air Force Reserve. Start your adventure with the Air Force Reserve. Very good afternoon and welcome back to Clearwater, Florida at Baycare Ballpark as we get set for elimination Friday. 4 teams trying to make it to the semifinals tomorrow in the American Conference Baseball Championships. Here's what it looks like, what we have on tap for today. Memphis, ECU, and Wichita State and Tulane. UCF and USF, the 2 Florida schools, waiting tomorrow. Again, good afternoon. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Xavier Scruggs. And a rematch we thought may happen, Xavier. You got to imagine the Pirates are fired up to get back at Memphis.
Oh, yeah, the Pirates, they're coming back looking for that revenge. In Memphis, they're looking to do the same thing that they did a couple of days ago.
Memphis trying to rebound. They were run-ruled yesterday, and they'll have to rely on some senior leadership. Their third baseman, Alec Trella.
Alec Trella, a guy he's got to be the production for Goodman. That's why I've highlighted him today. He did a nice job going the other way. Singles, RBIs, he knows how to use the other side of the field. I love the way this guy is calm, relaxed at the plate. He's got to be the protection for Goodman.
Meanwhile, ECU looking for their sophomore first baseman to continue to play well, Thomas Francisco.
And we've talked about it all week, that protection. He's got to be the protection for Connor Norby. I see Memphis pitching around Norby a little bit. Francisco has to go to work today, and he can be the guy to do it.
So the Tigers and the Pirates for the second time here this week at Baycare Ballpark. Beautiful afternoon, a little cloud cover. Temperature is going to stay in the lower 80s. For the first time this week, the flags not gusting out of the ballpark. Teams seem to have their rotation set back up. And when we discussed it a little bit yesterday, Xavier, I think you could see the game shift from an offensive game the first 3 days to maybe a little bit more pitching dominant here this week, and we'll see if that plays out.
Yeah, as you start to see some of the aces get back on the bump, some of the bullpens start to get a little bit more relaxed, start to know what they're doing when they come into the game, you might see some better pitching.
And ECU is going to put out a stud today, and Gavin Williams, the junior right-hander, 9-0. 12 outings, 9 starts, a 1.48 ERA, 61 innings, 16 walks, 98 strikeouts. They know how urgent an elimination game is today to get to the semifinals. They want their name called Sunday evening when they announce the 16 host sites.
Yeah, that's what you're here for. You're all here for the championship. You're here to take it all home. Parents in the crowd happy for their kids. This is a special moment.
The 1-1 will come down and in on Zach Wilson, who's 1 for 6 this week. They need to get Zach Wilson jump started. Memphis does after yesterday. Again, the Tigers run-ruled ECU, and then Memphis took it on the chin in a big way, 17-1 yesterday. 2-1 will miss down and out.
And you lose a game 17-1, you got to come back, you got to flush that. You got to almost have the short-term memory. Don't even remember what happened yesterday. Come back, be a new team, ready to fight.
3-1. Williams up under the elbow, and he walks him to start the ball game. Zach Wilson, as a leadoff man, doesn't take, an abnormally high amount of walks, just the 27th of the season.
Here's what he's got to be a catalyst. He's got to get on base if Memphis looks to put up some runs here today.
One of your hotter hitters the second half of the season, Ian Bibiloni. The 150 hitting outfielder, platooning. Got hot at the right time, has raised his average over 100 points the back half of the season at 254. 5 homers, 32 driven in, shows bunt. We've seen him go long in this tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing about Bibiloni. He provides some versatility at the plate. We know he can lay down a bunt. He's got speed, and he also has a little bit of that juice.
Cadell behind the plate with the runner over at first in Zach Wilson. Williams taking his time now, the pitch, and he'll foul it off to the right side. That'll get out of play. Cadell, he's thrown out 12 of 46 this season. We have the runner over at first and Zach Wilson, who has stolen 12 bases.
Yeah, keep an eye on Gavin Williams and his arsenal today. The league's top pitcher has simplified his delivery and can hit triple digits with that fastball, normally around 94 to 97.
Up and out on the waste pitch. Well, they like Babyloni to move Wilson in the scoring position somehow, because then you've got Goodman and Trella right behind. Trella's homer this week. Goodman, your home run leader, came into the week 3rd in the nation in home runs. Memphis is a team this year, 18-38. They were 7-25 in the American. Hit 226, scored just 263 runs. Now Babyloni waved at it, went around and struck out, and there's one away.
And that's one of Gavin Williams' premier pitches right there. The slider. He's also got the changeup. You can see the build. He's a strong and athletic, consistent strike thrower. He's a guy that's going to be at the next level for sure.
So that'll bring up Hunter Goodman, the designated hitter. He caught the first 2 games. He'll DH this afternoon. Back to first again, low throw, and again Wilson back in safely. Williams waits. Big swing and a miss against Memphis on April 9th. Williams 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run was earned, 1 walk. He struck out 9 in 88 pitches. Through 6 innings at USF over the weekend. 3 hits, 1 run was earned, no walks. He struck out double digits, 11 in 80 pitches. Oh, 1 and a strike taken on the outer half by Goodman.
And Jeff, this is a matchup that I look forward to seeing all day. Power versus power. As a hitter, your focus, when you have a guy that has some of the best stuff in the entire league, you have to stay focused on what you do well as a hitter and try to get him to throw that pitch to your advantage side. So that might be middle away for Goodman, could be middle in, whatever he's feeling like that today can help him.
In the dirt, runner will go, and Wilson is safe.
Yeah, that's a great read off the dirt by Wilson. Saw the down angle and was able to advance to second. That's a nice job reading that ball. A lot of times when you're at first base, you may not be attempting to steal, but the best thing you can do is be ready for a down angle off speed pitch that scoots away from the catcher so you can get yourself in scoring position.
On a wild pitch gives Hunter Goodman an RBI opportunity here in the first inning. Goodman chases it upstairs and strikes out. There's 2 away.
You see just fastball up in the zone. Goodman trying to do just a little bit too much right there. He's got to stay within himself and just take his singles today because Williams is nasty.
Alec Trello's had a good week, 4 for 7. He's homered here in the championships. He'll tip it into the mitt for a strike. It would be big for Memphis to get a run this inning, coming off the 17-1 loss the other day. Again, we've talked about it. Sometimes it is hard to get back up. An elimination game the very next day. It'll carry over sometimes, so getting a quick start imperative for this Memphis ball club. Oh, 1 fouled off. In the meantime, ECU coming off a win, making their way back to Friday through the losers bracket. They got into a slugfest in their second ball game as they battled Cincinnati the other day, and boy, there were a lot of runs against the Bearcats. Back and forth. 0-2. Up and over. And a second errant pitch will move Wilson 90 feet away.
And that pitch there is, you know, obviously that's a lot higher than Williams wants to get it, but that's a high pitch is what he's going to use a lot today, especially with 2 strikes, especially to change the eye level of the hitter. You want it just around the letters of the hitter. And that's what he's going to try to do today.
Second wild pitch of the inning for Williams. Ground ball to short. Giles over the first, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the first. In Clearwater, we're scoreless. Well, the Pirate offense hoping to pick up where they left off against the Bearcats and bounce back after Carson Stinnett shut them down on day number 1 for the Pirates today. Connor Norby leads things off at second base. Francisco will hit second. Moylan, Worrell, Agnos to the middle of the order. Makarevich in left field at 6. Cadell, the catcher, bats 7th. Lane Hoover in right field bats 8th. And Ryder Giles will bat in the 9th spot. He will be your shortstop. They'll face Blake Wimberly. Saw his brother Bailey throw in relief yesterday. Blake, the freshman, 2-8. 6.44 ERA in 13 starts, has 1 complete game, 65 2/3 of an inning. 78 hits, 55 runs, 47 earned, 34 walks to 65 strikeouts, a 3.06 average against. Can get a little wild with 7 wild pitches and 10 hit batters on the year, but overall fairly solid freshman campaign. Got a lot of innings under his belt this year.
Yeah, that experience is huge, especially going into this game today. He's going to look to set the tone early, throwing strikes, commanding the strike zone, and he's got a tough task against the first batter in Connor Norby.
Well, let's see if Norby checked out the flags. As he told us on the post game the other day, I come to the ballpark, see where the flag's blowing, I'll look that way, and they're moving out toward right field. 425, 15 homers, 28 driven in. Let's face it, when Norby hit that home run against Memphis on day 1, we thought, well, here we go. The number 1 seed's going to flex its muscles. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
And Norby's the perfect guy to have at the top of the lineup. Leads the league in batting average, on base percentage, runs scored, as well as total bases. So he's somebody that can really be a catalyst to just throw at the top of the lineup every day.
Off speed inside, is going to miss. So the leadoff home run in each of the first 2 games. Takes a strike of the outer half, now 2-2.
And just watching Connor Norby over the course of this week and earlier in the season, he's just got such a balanced approach at the plate, knows exactly what he wants. He'll get to 2 strikes, and that's not a problem for him. I want to check out his home run from the first game. Look at this ball that he absolutely smashed right here. I mean, the left fielder shouldn't even have, and BB Loney shouldn't even have went over there because that ball was crushed.
3-2, and he draws the walk. So now Norby a chance maybe to show off another aspect of his game. We've talked so much about his hitting. Still has 15 stolen bases.
Yeah, we know he's somebody that can move, somebody that can be a threat on the base pass. You got to be careful with him over there at first base as well.
Wimberly was also the starter on April 9th at ECU. 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs. All were earned in that ball game. He would walk 1 and strike out 3. That gets away, and there goes Norby up to second base.
And that's one thing you don't want, especially in the first inning, is allowing runners to advance, free passes. You don't want any of that. So for me, Wimberly has to get back, settle in, get back to throwing in the middle of the zone, at least establish what he wants to do early in the count.
Runner in scoring position for Francisco. Nobody out, grounds it to first. Howell's got it. He'll take it himself, but he moves Norby over to third base.
A really nice job by Francisco. Was looking for 1 pitch to be able to move the runner. Pulls it over there to first base. You take that anytime, especially in the first inning when you're trying to draw that first blood.
Now the Pirates about to get into the heart of their order. Moylan, Worrell, and Agnos. Moylan pair of hits so far this week. Freshman hitting .329 with 5 homers, 32 driven in. Called strike inside, and quickly Wimberly had 0-1. ECU 302 this year, 366 runs, 87 doubles. They'll run 54 steals. Foul off, out of play.
Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Situation that you practice all the time in college, in professional baseball. This is something that you work towards because that RBI has to get in with less than 2 outs. You got infield back. All you have to think about is stay up the middle somewhere.
0-2, reaches out, rolls it just foul at first. Will have to protect the plate with 2 strikes. Moylan 23 walks, only 35 strikeouts this year.
Start to draw the infield in.
Slider down and in, Dubose roped the stop. Now it'll be a little bit different today. We've already seen the 1 wild pitch, but Hunter Goodman the DH, so you've got your reserve catcher Dubose, who's come on as of late to get a little time back there, but just his 16th game, only his 13th start of the year. So up and out, evens things up now at 2-2.
And early in the count, the infield was back. Now Memphis draws the infield in, looking if there's a soft, weakly hit ball that they can, or even a sharp hit ball to the infield, they can cut down Norby at home plate.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Big pitch by Wimberly, 2 away.
That was a nice job by Wimberly, changing the speeds, stays down in the zone with that changeup, has good depth, nice movement away from Moylan.
So Bryson Worrell, the junior center fielder, a .272 hitter, 12 doubles, 8 home runs this year, looking for a 2-out RBI. Ground ball to second, Baskin. And Wimberly gets out of a little first inning trouble. The freshman steps up. No runs, no hits, no errors. Runner left on. We played 1. There is no score. From the sugary white sands of St. Pete Beach, voted the #1 beach in the U.S. by TripAdvisor in 2021, to glittering nightlife and world-class restaurants, St. Pete Clearwater offers so much to do. Start planning now and visit stpeteclearwater.com. We've had a lot of fun here, as we always do, at the American Baseball Championships in this St. Pete Clearwater area, and we're joined by Julie Bolfa with Visit St. Pete Clearwater. And first of all, thanks for providing us with the great weather this week.
Oh, absolutely. We're more than happy to do that, Jeff. Absolutely. It's great to be host of the American Athletic Conference, and we're excited to have them back in St. Pete Clearwater again with us, and especially to host the Memphis Tigers and East Carolina Pirates.
So we go to the second. There is no score. It'll be Hal, Baskin, and Brooks to start it off after Williams threw a leadoff walk, then came back to strike out 2, get the ground out of the inning as the first pitch is fouled off. What makes these beaches in this area the best in America? Because I know I've already heard the traffic starting to come in. A lot of people coming down for Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely. Well, 35 miles of white sand beaches is what brings everybody into this area. Absolutely gorgeous. The warm Gulf waters, absolutely gorgeous sunsets that everybody just has to see. Lots of restaurants and fun activities along the waterfront for sure. And we're really proud that St. Pete Beach was voted the #1 beach in America by the travelers of TripAdvisor. And Madeira Beach came close at #9. And Clearwater's held that distinction 3 times in a row in 2016, 2018, and 2019.
Wow, so you got a couple of top 10s in there.
Yes,
That's
we do. We're super excited about that. Yeah, lots to be proud of.
What else beside the beaches? Because I know there's a lot of great nightlife, a lot of great stuff for the family during the day they can get out and do around here.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of family fun activities for them to do. Clearwater Marine Aquarium is a big one. Absolutely, that's nice. The Dali Museum with over 2,400 works of art by Salvador Dali. We just have lots of fun things for the families to do. Sightseeing cruises where you can go out and see dolphins, of course. And then, of course, it's a nature lover's paradise. We highly suggest people get out and take advantage of that.
We should take a look at the sunset, and that's a great place to be out in the evening. We've been here at the ballpark, and when the American Conference comes to the Clearwater St. Pete area, and there's a line drive hit well, but that's going to hook foul. When they come down here, they build a tournament, so if you win your game, you get a day off. These guys get to enjoy the beach for a little while. The coaches aren't going to let them out all day, but they do get a chance. They stay out at Clearwater Beach, so a chance to enjoy the scenery.
Get out and enjoy everything that there is out there. Yeah, for sure. Lots of nature walks. Sunken Gardens is a lot of fun to go to. I enjoy that one personally. Largo Nature Preserve. And there's also Largo Florida Botanical Gardens located in Largo. It's the largest free outdoor botanical garden in the state of Florida. Just lots of fun.
We're going to talk so much more about St. Pete and Clearwater, but if the families are coming down, which I know they are this weekend in droves, well, what is there, and tell us about some of the great family-friendly things that they can get out and do.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of the attractions that we have, lots of the outdoor activities. We have world-class events here. Lots of emphasis on the water, so any chance to get out and do boating, kayaking through the mangroves that we have here, fishing, water sports. We have lots to offer in the area.
Well, I know Xavier, we've talked about it, he likes the water sport. He's a big jet ski guy. What's kind of your favorite thing to do?
Yeah, my personal I love anything with nature, so that's my absolute favorite thing. And so I love just getting out and going to the water and just looking at the wildlife, turtles, things like that.
I guess that's a great thing to take the family to do, because I'm sure up and down the beaches around here, as you've mentioned, there are a couple in the top 10, including Clearwater Beach, who is ranked #1. If you want to get out in that water, go snorkeling, go scuba diving, you can check out and see what's up under the water here.
Absolutely. And as far as that goes, lots of things. We have a really great art scene, especially down in the St. Pete area. Lots of eclectic neighborhoods. For instance, up in Dunedin, we have a great Greek community up there with the sponge docks, lots of great Greek restaurants. We have over 40 craft breweries in the area. 8 of those are located within walking distance in downtown Dunedin. And they also have the oldest microbrewery in the entire state of Florida is located in Dunedin.
2 away for Memphis here in the top half of the second. So there's 2 away for Memphis. And again, we're being joined by Julie Bolfer with Visit St. Pete Clearwater. Memorial Day weekend last year, unfortunately, with COVID, a lot of, I'm sure that got kind of quelled down. A lot of people had to stay in. I imagine you guys are expecting a really big crowd. Things are starting to loosen up. The vaccine's out, so I'm sure you're expecting a pretty big crowd down here this weekend.
Absolutely. At the beaches, everything's going to be full. We're excited about that. And the cool thing about the beaches is every single beach that we have just has its own unique vibe to it. With the different restaurants and so forth that are around there, some a little bit more family-friendly than others. Madeira is a great one for families to go to. I enjoy all of them. Every single one I've had a great time on. And Kiladisi State Park just had another national award. It's number 7 on Dr. Beach's list. So
that's awesome. In fact, I saw him.
Did you?
On the Today Show the other day. So I saw him out inspecting the beaches.
Yeah, and he was on that beach. He even jumped in the water with his mic on. So I'm like, good for you.
So it's going to be crowded, and regardless if you're looking for something to do during the day, looking for the nightlife, you mentioned the craft breweries, something for everyone. But I don't want to let it get away before we get done. Where do they find this information? I'm sure you guys have a website they can look at.
Thank you for asking. Yes, visit stpeteclearwater.com. And we have a wealth of information on there, listing of all the different events, attractions, restaurants in the area. And we also have some great videos, too. So if you're looking at a particular area, you can go and find all different types of videos on those different events and what there is. And, of course, we're always happy to have people reach out to us for further questions, and we're always there to help.
And, this is my 7th year coming down for the American Championships. Lots of great places to stay. There's no shortage. Hotels, motels, wherever you need to do, Airbnbs, places to stay. because you want to get in here and you don't want to spend a lot of time moving around. You want to be near that beach.
You want to go to the beach.
Right.
And if possible, I suggest when people come visit us, you know, consider booking that extra day or two more than what you might think, because once you get down here and you see Pinellas County and all that there is to do, you're going to want to extend that stay. And then maybe consider planning your next family vacation a year out.
We've talked a lot about this, but Xavier loves this too. We've talked about different things to eat. There's no shortage of seafood out here.
Oh my gosh, the seafood is absolutely amazing. And if you want beachfront dining, I mean, there's so many options. It's wonderful.
You know,
absolutely.
I guess there's nothing better than, we saw that Sunset pick earlier, than having dinner at Sunset, have a nice cold beer at one of the craft breweries, have some seafood. Just got to be the ultimate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just all the different places you can go, and it's fresh. It's fresh fish. I mean, that's the thing. You can get the freshest of fish. You go down to the boat docks in Clearwater, and they've literally caught the fish, and they're selling right off the boat docks. So if you want the freshest seafood, this is a place to get it for sure.
We just saw one of the more popular places. They've got a place here at the ballpark, Frenchie's in left field, and it's a destination down on the beach.
Yes, Frenchie's. You got to go. If you visit here, you have to go to Frenchie's. They have excellent food, a great atmosphere, a few different locations as well. So yeah, for sure, go to Frenchie's.
Julie Bolfa again joining us from Visit St. Pete Clearwater. You seeing this all the time. You see it year-round, but still, I'd imagine you never get tired of seeing the beach and everything that goes on.
Absolutely not. When you drive over those bridges and you visit us and you see that gorgeous teal green water and the pelicans flying along the bridges, and you get over here, it's magical. It really is.
And that's the amazing thing when you go to one of the beaches in the region, in the area down here at St. Pete Clearwater. You know, we've all been to different beaches, different areas of the country, and you get in the ocean or the Gulf or wherever you're going, and maybe you get in, but you don't know what's going on up under. I mean, it's called Clearwater for a reason, to be able to see up under. That's a neat experience.
It really, truly is. The water, especially at Clearwater Beach, I've noticed there's just such a shallow area there to go out and really enjoy it and just work your way into the water. And a lot of people even just take their chair out there and sit in the water and get a little bit of tan while they're out there. It's fantastic. And the sugar sand beaches, be prepared to take some of that sand home with you. But it's just a reminder of the great time that you had.
You know, you're talking about the way the water is, the clear water as it's called. You see it right there, and you know, you take your kids out on the beach and you take the youngsters out there, a chance for them to wade around the water, pick up some shells and stuff like that.
Oh, tons of seashells, absolutely tons of seashells, sand dollars, seashells, you name it. You're going to see that out there. All kinds of birds, wildlife. It's just the best.
Well, Julie, we really appreciate you taking some time to come by, and hopefully it's a good weekend. It's going to be a busy one. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff.
Julie Bolfa would Visit St. Pete Clearwater. No score as we move to the bottom of the second. We talked to Julie Bolfa from Visit St. Pete Clearwater. A chance to catch some rays. That's what those young ladies are doing now, watching some baseball. A little bit of cloud cover maybe to take the edge off from the heat. We're expecting about 82 or 83 today. Scoreboard showing 87, but really a very comfortable afternoon of baseball. Got a good one, low-scoring game so far as Xavier Scruggs joins us again after Julie Bolfa made her way in. I know you were lobbying for her to maybe to do the middle 3 innings. You head out to Frenchie's or somewhere.
I told her, if you want to keep going, go ahead. I saw somebody eating some food, some good food over there, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to grab a bite.
Well, low scoring affair so far, Xavier, as we've seen. Couple of walks, a few wild pitches, but both Wimberly and Williams have been able to get out of jams, and we expected maybe a little bit more low-scoring games. This is just the bottom of the second, so you know, fireworks could pick up really quick. We'll see what happens with ECU here. Agnos, Makarevich, and Cadell due up. First pitch is strike. Of course, you live in the Tampa area, and you noticed today the Memorial Day crowd starting to make their way in early on a Friday on your way to the ballpark.
Starting to come in. I was headed to the ballpark. I'm like, where's all this traffic coming from?
1-1 off-speed called strike.
Said it's the middle of the day. Don't people have work? Then I remember people heading into Tampa straight to the beaches.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Wimberly.
Yeah, Wimberly right there, able to really locate that off speed. And that's going to be a big difference for him today, because we know ECU hits the fastball so well, but the way that he locates his off speed, if he's able to continue to do that for a long period of time, he can pitch deep into this game, and that's what Memphis is going to need.
Here is Alec Makarevich, the freshman left fielder, 286. He has 6 home runs. He's driven in 29 this season. Freshman out of Longwood, Florida. Florida native, playing up the way in Greenville. Was the player of the week on April 5th a year ago. Hit .250 with an RBI and scored a run. Played at Lake Brantley High School. Rated the 39th best prospect at shortstop. There's a strike by Perfect Game in 2019 preseason All Florida Region honorable mention. He has come back to his home state here in the conference tournament. 2-1, reaches out, flies to the left, long way to go. That's going to drop in front of B.B. Loney for a 1-out single.
And that's a very nice job by Makarevich. Considering he saw so many pitches on the outer half of the plate, he was able to just let that ball get a little bit deeper. It stayed with it, just took it to the opposite field. For him to continue to see those pitches and make that adjustment, say, okay, I'll just take it that way, that's a nice job, because ECU will continue to see Wimberly's two-seam away and the changeup.
He's going to challenge DeBose on the first pitch. He'll have to come back after Seth Cadell rolls it foul. Cadell 286, 13 home runs, 45 driven in, so they've got pop in the back of the order as well.
After that first walk to Connor Norby, Wimberly is attacking the zone a lot better. He's been able to throw all his pitches for strikes.
So 1-1 as these two teams continue to get runners on, but neither has been able to put a run across yet. Cadell Jr. out of Carthage, North Carolina. Back to first. And then we talked about Goodman moving to DH today. DeBose in limited time has been good behind the plate. He's thrown out 6 of 21 this season. Wimberly hoping to get Cadell to roll over into the double play. Memphis has turned 32. ECU, they've grounded in a 36 this year. One-two from Wimberly. Just a little bit off the plate.
Yeah, he's trying to expand the strike zone right there. Trying to see if he'll get Cadell to offer at something off the plate. Nice job by Cadell, making sure that he does not get fooled and swing at something that's not a strike over there that makes Wimberly have to attack the zone.
Back to first, the umpires today. Michael Mazzarisi at first, Michael Schultz at second. Casey Moser at third, and Matt McKendry is behind home plate. Two, works it full.
Surprised to see him throwing that slider and trying to expand the zone. For me, he's got a good changeup, a good sinking fastball. I would use that to induce the ground ball double play.
Three-two, runner goes, ground ball to third, under the glove of Trella in the left field, and it's going to be first and third for the Pirates.
And Wimberly did exactly what he needed to do. He got the ground ball right at third. Trella just misplays this baseball. It's a slider down. Should have been an easy 5-4-3 double play, but instead we have runners on first and third with one out.
Well, and the Tigers have struggled at times defensively this year. 81st error of the season on Memphis. And leaves the door wide open here for Lane Hoover. 269, no homers, 9 driven in. Sophomore to Lincolntown, North Carolina.
And if you're Trella and you just committed the error at third base, you have to flush that quickly because you might get a bunt here. Safety squeeze.
Well, he showed it. You called it. Well, he's been working on these specific skills a long time. Lane Hoover has participated back when he was a kid in the 2013 MLB pitch, hit, and run competition in Atlanta. Finished third in the old 13 to 14-year-old division. That's like the old punt, pass, and kick for the NFL.
That's awesome. I feel like that's really cool. I would love to do something like that. Do they have an older division?
They have a master's division. Hoover 296 with the runners in scoring position. Shows bunt again. This one's going to be fair. Gloves it, but the toss is high, and the Pirates are on the board. Howell scoop, but it went up way too high, and DeBose had to jump up to grab it.
Yeah, for me, this is a tough play because any safety squeeze that's bunted pretty well to first base is typically a tough play to make. I'm wondering if he had enough time to transfer that ball and make a throw to home, or at least tag the runner in Hoover running to first base for at least one out.
So the Pirates score first, and they've got a couple of runners on, still with just one out. And here's where ECU is pretty dangerous now. You're giving them light here.
Yeah, but still the ground ball double play is in order. So you have to continue to try to induce a ground ball here. You get another look at that play. But it sharply to first base, so the play could have been made to home. But I feel like there needed to be a transfer to the throwing hand in order to throw that ball to home plate.
2-0 here to Giles. Takes a strike on the inside. So the sophomore to Bass, North Carolina, looking to drive in a run. Runner goes. Hit and run, driven back up the middle, and the Pirates will take a 2-0 lead on the RBI single by Ryder Giles.
Sophisticated piece of hitting by Giles. Gets a ball up in the zone, takes it right back where it came from. Short, compact. Runners were going. Cadell scores easily from second base.
That's going to bring out Russ McNichol, the pitching coach for the University of Memphis. In an elimination game like this, there's no time to settle in. The bullpen not working yet, but you could see some movement. And as we mentioned that, they get to moving out in left field. No one throwing yet.
And if I'm McNichol, I'm telling Wimberly, hey, double play is still in order. Use your changeup down in the zone. Use your sinker down in the zone. We can't afford to let balls stay up in the middle of the plate, especially against a guy coming up to the plate now in Connor Norby.
You know, coming into this game, and we have talked about it the last couple of days, that After Memphis put it on the Pirates the other day, you knew ECU was hoping for a rematch. And you can tell in their dugout they've been locked in since they got to the ballpark this morning. Top of the order, Norby. Norby with 3 home runs so far in the championship tournament. Walked and was stranded an inning ago.
And Norby's such a patient hitter. He's going to wait for the pitch that he wants to drive. He knows that this is a situation where he needs to drive the baseball. And he's been so good in these situations. He's going to look for his pitch in the middle.
1-0 on the inside, ahead 2-0. Well, here's the danger, as patient as Norby is. Wimberly doesn't want to give him the free base. You load it up. Here comes your guy, Francisco, then the heart of the order. And ECU threatening in a big way to turn this into a really big inning. 3-0. Norby's a guy too, Xavier. He's a guy that you'll green light on 3-0.
Absolutely. And really, I go back to that ground ball to Trella that could have been the double play to get them out of the inning that was hit by Cadell. Now it's starting to snowball a little.
He'll take his 4-pitch walk. Well, that shows some great discipline for a guy with 15 home runs, 425 average, 15 doubles. And you go up there thinking about, oh, I've got these RBIs, I'm going to drive it here. But can you be disciplined enough to do what it takes to just take your free base and get the next guy up? There's Cliff Godwin, Coach of the Year. 3rd time he's been Coach of the Year in the American Conference.
So when he hits the ball, run.
Francisco reaches out. This could end the inning. 6-4-3, and it does. And Wimberly dodges a big bullet here in the 2nd inning. For the Pirates are on the board with a pair of runs on 2 hits in air. 3 where the 2 left on. Pirates on the board, but the Tigers capable of jumping back in it.
Oh, we know they are because they've got some juice. Earlier, they went back to back to back jacks against ECU in their first game. They're going to be looking for more of that in today's game. Them balls were flying.
That was the day. It was wear your helmet day. They should have given away the souvenir helmets up in Frenchie's that day. A lot of home runs on day number 1. And here they see home runs all spring, especially when the Phillies come down. Traditionally a big hitting ball team in the big leagues. It's their Grapefruit League location down here in Florida. Then the Threshers take over for the remainder of the season. Brennan DeBose getting his 13th start of the year. 118 for the freshman catcher. Punts it foul. Off to our left. Hunter Goodman, of course, the main catcher, DHing, and that's how Darren Schoenrock has done it. Trying to go about 2 for 1 to give him a little, his legs a little rest. You want to keep that. You don't want to take that bat out of his hands, so need to give him a rest from time to time. And Nick Jones and then Brennan DeBose have been the reserve catchers. First appearance we've seen out of DeBose this week. Oh, 2 called strike 3. 5th strikeout now for Gavin Williams.
It's a nice pitch by Gavin Williams here. Just freezes him up on the outer half of the plate. That ball is painted. And you know, you talked about giving Goodman the DH And anytime that you go from playing usually every day on the field and getting a DH, that's a huge rejuvenation factor. You know, you get to just focus on hitting. You get to, like you said, rest the legs a little bit. Catchers that get beat up back there all the time. So anytime that you can get a DH every now and then, that's big.
Zach Wilson led the game off with a walk. He would go to second on the wild pitch, move over to third on the wild pitch. The Tigers could not get him in, 1-1. How much, and I know you were a National League guy in your time with the Cardinals and the Marlins, and even through the moving up through the minor leagues with those guys. The rules a little bit different in the minor leagues. And then when you played interleague games in the big leagues, do you ever DH much?
Yeah, well, more coming up in the minor league system, but
how hard is it to stay locked in when you're usually a position player?
That's the thing. You're not, the speed of the game changes because you're so used to being more locked in, like you said, on the defensive end. And then also on the defensive end, you can forget about your at-bat. It can be a time where you, okay, let me not think about that at-bat, especially if I was struck out or especially if I got out. So it's more of an opportunity for you to just focus on defense, and you have to be able to separate those two. But another good thing, too, is if you're DHing, a lot of times you have cages in the back that you can go get your swing in, stay loose, stay flexible, always moving around. That's what you'll see a lot of those Major League DHs doing. And a Stanton, you know, maybe a Miguel Sano, a Nelson Cruz, those guys will be doing that stuff in the back, always staying loose and ready to go.
Sean Freeman, our third base camera operator, getting the quick hands up there, trying to protect himself from the foul ball at third base.
Those guys are right in the line of fire. Are they allowed to use the camera to protect themselves, or is that against the rules?
I don't know if there's any unwritten baseball rules on that. If you said anything, you could. 3-2, and he popped him up. Norby at second. Here's Giles at short. Giles over the shoulder makes the catch. Worrell was there. I'm sure Cliff Gavin will talk to the guys when they come in that, hey, center fielder's coming in right behind you. I know you got it tracked down, but probably give way to him next time.
Yeah, we've talked about it so much, the wind being a little bit of a factor. It's starting to blow a little bit more now as we speak, but the center fielder coming in hard on that ball. Center fielder's got to call that and make sure that that ball does not even get close to dropping. But the out was made. That's all that you can say.
Breaking ball strike on BB Loney. Talk about using the camera. I was telling you the first year of the American, when it was kind of, you know, it was the first year. There were a couple of the old Big East teams. They used to have a home run derby, and we called the home run derby, and they put us at a folding table in the third base coach's box, and there's no screen. And thought I was going to die that night. Foul ball screaming over our head.
They got to get you at least a screen over there. At least a little L screen, an infield screen, something.
0-2 on BB Loney.
I hope you brought a glove.
Just hunched down, push the table over real quick.
Just using your matrix skills over there.
0-2. Struck him out on 3 straight. 6 strikeouts now for Williams. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Pirates. 2-0 ECU. And we talked about the Pirates coming in locked in this morning, Xavier. That is why an 8-1 upset on day one. It was the second game of the day on Tuesday. Something I'm sure the Pirates really focused in on. If we could get a chance to have the rematch as you take a look at how that game developed on Tuesday.
I was really impressed with Stinnett, who came ready to go on the bump. I mean, just impressive all day. He was able to command his off speed so well, and he knew he needed to mix everything going against the top offense in the AAC.
They had tied that home run record at 4 until UCF played home run derby and blasted 7 home runs. That's still amazing. And one of them, of course, was the end of Parker.
Right. That was impressive to watch, too. Running around them bases.
Here we go. It's Moylan. Knock something off. of the mid of DeBose. 1-0 here on Moylan. He struck out in the first. Well, Wimberley got in some trouble in an inning ago. There was a critical error by Trella at third. Kept the inning alive, and they would put 2 runs on the board, but he came back and got Francisco to hit in the 4-6-3 double play. That was a big pitch for Wimberley because that was shaping up to be a very big inning for ECU.
Yeah, and he definitely needed to stay away from that big inning. Kudos to him working, getting back into the count and getting that ground ball.
Moylan now ahead 3-1. 327 with 5 home runs.
And it's going to be a long day if Wimberley doesn't get that pitch right there. He needs that pitch because if he's able to stay down there, he can get those ground balls.
Up high, and he walks him. Second leadoff walk issued today by Wimberley. His third of the game. See Russ McNichol a little frustrated there. Bryson Worrell, 1 for 9, is 1 hit this week, is a home run. He grounded a second in the first. Moylan, as we take a look, no stolen base attempts this year. Strike taken. And Wimberley kind of dancing around the strike zone. ECU probably taking the approach, take a few pitches, make him get ahead in the count.
Yeah, you have to make him throw strikes. He does have a lot of off speed, but he does know how to nibble.
Take strike 2. Now Wimberley ahead. Again, we told you a little movement out there in the Tiger bullpen. That's Logan Walters, a junior right-hander throwing. Oh, 2 comes into the hard slider and misses.
But I like that. Wimberley has to show inside so he can be able to expand the zone. That's one big part of his game. He's got to be able to expand the zone, but the only way to do that is to be at least able to show a little bit inside.
In the dirt, DeBose able to knock it down.
Nice job by DeBose keeping that double play in order by keeping that ball in front of him.
Up high. Good plate appearance here by Worrell. Remember, he was down 0-2. He's worked it back full. Got Agnos on deck. Makarevich in the hole. Three-two and a high fly ball to right center field. Back to the track, and it's hauled in by Wilson. And we have a little wind today, but not what we've seen the last 3 days. And a ball that potentially could have carried out one of the last 3 days.
Yeah, it's a good swing by Worrell, but the wind is just not carrying the same way. But if you can get into that right center jet stream, it will go. We've seen that over the past few days, like you said. And if I'm a hitter and I know I have somebody throwing me a lot of off speed, a lot of change ups, I've got to look to go that way. Especially if I'm a right-handed hitter.
Zach Agnos struck out last inning, 1 for 7 in the tournament. 260 this year with 6 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Runner goes on a foul ball. So they did put Moylan in motion. The Pirates got a leadoff walk in the first, unable to get Norby in. Put 2 on the board an inning ago and had the leadoff man aboard here in Moylan with a walk with 1 out. Change that time, gets the called strike. Up and in, they'll back him off. Now, one thing ECU's doing and being disciplined, starting to raise that pitch count. You could see here in the third already at 51 pitches.
That's the thing when you have a guy that's working around the zone, trying to get you to expand it. If you are patient, you'll work that pitch count. And then eventually he has to start attacking the zone. And that's when you take advantage.
Second straight full count. Worrell worked a full count until he flew out to deep center field. Back to first. Had him leaning a little bit, but Moylan dives back in safely.
Yeah, he was leaning there. 3-2, 1 out here. It's a good count to run. Trying to stay out of the double play. I'd look to see him break for second.
There goes Moylan, and another foul ball. Now, Logan Walters had been throwing. He's back down. Probably means he's loose enough and ready to go. You see that pitch count just this inning up to 17. Runner goes. There's a ball laced into left center field. Moylan around second. He's around third. He's going to score easily. And it's going to be an RBI double for Zach Agnos, and it's 3-0 ECU.
Agnos really battled that at bat all the way till he got himself a nice pitch in the middle of the zone, puts a great swing on it in the gap. And the fact that Moylan was already on the move allows him to have the opportunity to score. So not only do you stay out of the double play when you move the runner, you also have opportunity. If that ball's put in the gap, that guy can get home.
There's Makarevich. He singled and scored last inning. He'll take the strike down 0-1. And that will quickly get Logan Walters back up in the pen for Memphis. .290 hitter with 6 home runs. Looking for RBI number 30.
And Wimberly slipped on the mound on that last delivery.
Foul ball into the Tiger dugout.
And one thing, when you're not used to using a certain mound, a lot of times you find yourself slipping off a little bit, trying to get comfortable. That's also another thing. The stress innings can get to you. You're trying to make sure that you're, finding yourself, finding your rhythm. He's in one of those stress innings as we speak.
1-2. Tipped. And he strikes out as DeBow is able to hang on. Two away for Cadell. He grounded a third in what looked like it was going to be a 5-4-3 double play an inning ago to get Memphis out of the inning. And it made its way under Troutle's glove, kept the inning alive. And as all good teams do, they'll make you pay for your mistakes.
And that's the only thing coming into this game. Memphis is We talked about the free passes, but you don't want your pitcher to have to work any harder than he already is going to. We see the pitch count at 58 already in the bottom of the third. He's throwing a lot of pitches to get to this point.
Cadell down a strike, 0-1. 1 for 5 so far in the tournament, 284. 13 home runs and 45 driven in. This is a guy you want to work that count so he gets one grooved about letter high. Back to second.
Memphis keeping Agnos honest at second base, making sure he's not getting off too much, not getting too big of a secondary. That'll take down his chances to score on a base hit to the outfield.
One grounded to Trella this time. Trella picks it up. Over to first in time. That'll end the inning. But the Pirates get another run. They did it with 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on base. We're through 3 in Clearwater. The Pirates up 3-0. 3-0 lead behind the arm of Gavin Williams.
And Jeff, what is he doing? He's doing it with the fastball up in the zone, changing the eye level of hitters. It looks so good right up there, and then he can paint away. And maybe I'll switch up with a slider. No, I'll go right back up top and sit you down. That's what he's been doing all day. That fastball is gas up in the zone.
Williams, 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk. He's already struck out 6, and he is at 49 pitches. So very efficient day for Gavin Williams, trying to get ECU where they expected to be. Maybe a little bit different journey, but they expected to be playing on Saturday. And right now, behind him, the 3 runs seems pretty big.
It's huge. When you have your ace going, in the middle of this tournament, you're looking for that momentum to carry you all the way to the championship. He's got to be the guy that comes in and shuts another team down, and he's done that so far today.
Well, if Memphis is to rally in this game, they've got to get this guy going. Hunter Goodman, 2 for 7, and the tournament has 1 extra base hit in the double. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0.
Yeah, and when you're seeing velocity like Williams has, if you're Goodman or you're a Memphis hitter, you have to stay focused on staying short. You can't be long off this guy, and you got to stay away from the fastball up. It looks so good at the letters eye level, but you got to get him down in the bottom of the zone.
1-0, and they'll call the strike. Williams with the delivery, leaves it down low in the dirt. 2-1 here to Goodman. Again, your conference leader with 21 home runs, came into the week 3rd in the country. And we talked about how impressive that is, considering didn't have any protection in front, none behind him this year. He did have Trella at times who could get a swing off, but nothing consistent. Here's a pop-up first base. Francisco having a little bit of trouble picking it up and cannot do it. The ball actually knocked the mitt off his hand.
And Jeff, we've seen it all week with the fly balls up in the air, those ones that are sky high, as he tries to block the sun. Just didn't get to see it really well and misplayed it.
Well, new life for Hunter Goodman. See if the sophomore in his 3rd year can take advantage of it. If the Tigers don't rally, likely his last game wearing the blue and gray of Memphis. Projected to be an extremely high draft pick. Some has said maybe as high as late 1st round. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, and this is what a hard fastball will do for you. It allows you to mix the speeds and throw that slider down. And if you're so anxious to try to catch up to 94, 95, 96, a lot of times you'll be so susceptible to that slider because it looks like a fastball coming in.
Here's Trella. Big swing, but just caught a piece of the handle. Williams over to first in time, and there's 2 down. We can tell getting stronger and stronger. 19 pitches, the high inning in the second.
And another slider down. He's starting to incorporate that slider a little bit more. Tough to get the barrel on Williams. So crafty with that heat and with that slider.
Howell 216. He's got 7 home runs. Fastball in, misses.
And if I'm facing a guy like Williams, I'm thinking about how can I get the barrel on the ball? I don't have to have a long, big swing. I got to be able to find a way to just get barrel on it. If that means just using my hands, taking it to right field like that, that's what I got to do.
Memphis with a 2-out runner now. It's going to be the 4th hit of the week for Taylor Howell. He's had a good week down here in Clearwater. Sets the table of 2 outs for Basket, who has a home run.
Yeah, your load can't be long. Your stride can't be long. Your leg kick can't be big. You got to shorten everything as a hitter against a guy like Williams. You don't have the time that you might have for somebody else like that. You have to find a way to get ready earlier.
They'll play deep in the outfield. Little doubles defense, guarding the line on the infield, pinch the alleys, play deep in the outfield. Not so much to guard from Baskin getting the extra bases, but to keep Howell from going first to home if there's a ball hit in the alley. Takes the strike now, 1-1. Down low for the ball.
And as we get a look at the outfielders, you can see how deep each one of them is playing here. And we talked about the wind being so much of a factor. ECU has made a commitment and said, we're not going to let balls get over our head. We're going to play to where we're coming up and getting those balls. We're seeing them in front of us. 8 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing out to right center.
2-1, fly ball, and they had it played perfectly. In 2 steps, it's Hoover, makes the catch in the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Pirates continue to lead it 3-0. Nice day out here at Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater, Florida. It's the first of 2 elimination games today, and the Pirates up 3-0. Right now, Gavin Williams has been dominating against the Memphis Tigers. Memphis trying to generate some offense. Meanwhile, Wimberley, 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, just 1 earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The number you look at, though, the 64 pitches is elevated. And Darren Schoenrock, their head coach, pitching coach Russ McNichol, hoping try to squeeze another inning or 2 out of him, but he needs to have one of those efficient innings. You can see the last 2, 24 pitches each.
And when you look at the pitch count, you have to look to the walks as well. 3 walks. It's, you know, he is a guy that can throw strikes, but it's about staying in the count. I think he's letting some counts get away from him a little bit. He's been ahead a few times and has walked guys.
8-9-1, Hoover, Giles, and Norby due up in the inning. As he bounces that one up there, 1-0.
And if you're Wimberley at the bottom of the order, this is where you have to attack the zone. You can't play around here. Like you said, Norby at the top. You got to get these guys out before it gets to Norby.
2-0 now to Hoover. Hoover this year, 269, no home runs, 10 RBI. for the sophomore right fielder. Showed bunt, and it's 3-0. He's already had 2 leadoff walks as it is. It's a strike call on the outside. But the more he gets behind the counts, the more ECU can go up there and, you know, even play around and take till you get a couple of strikes.
Absolutely. And even as a hitter, you just kind of circle in on one pitch. You're able to take your time. The patience becomes easier. As a hitter, patience is never easy. But when you have a pitcher out there that's giving some free passes, getting behind the count, that's when patience becomes easier.
Third leadoff walk of the game issued now by Blake Wimberly. That'll bring up Ryder Giles. He had the RBI single in the second. Giles, 225, 1 home run, 18 driven in. And with Hoover on base, there's a little bit of a stolen base threat. He has 6. They'll throw over quickly. Showing bunt early. Takes the strike. Well, ECU is in that mode, as we saw USF last night with Jasiak throwing a 3-run lead. Don't necessarily have to throw the big inning. Let's keep expanding the lead because we know the guy on the mound's been dominant for us.
And I think that's going to be a big key for them. You know, not thinking necessarily about, okay, we got to throw up a lot of runs this inning. No, how do we get guys on base and move them over, do the little things the right way? That way we can plate a runner every inning moving forward.
Well, Wimberly lets it go to the backstop, and that'll move the runner up. And for Wimberly, it's another wild pitch in this ball game.
Well, the bigger issue here is ECU and Giles. He's trying to give himself up. They're trying to give you an out in exchange for advancing the runner. So you need to take advantage of that. You need the outs.
One and one. See how they want to play it. If they want to try to move him to third, or they want Giles to try to drive him in. Looks like they're going to let Giles know. He'll square late and foul it off.
Yeah, and a lot of times managers and coaches will do that. They'll allow you to, you know, bunt for a hit in a situation like that as he squared around a little bit later. It's just all dependent upon their preference. A lot of times if your runner was advanced already, then you could say, okay, let's try to bunt for a hit this time, instead of giving myself up right away and showing bunt before he even comes set.
Well, 2 strikes, he squares around.
And a lot of times the pitcher will step off there, or at least wheel to second to check and see if he's still trying to show bunt. That way we know what bunt defense to put on.
He's going to try it with 2 strikes. He bunts back to Wimberly. That'll advance the runner. Good job, 2-strike bunts. That's a skill. Just get it into fair territory, and he did his job moving Hoover to third base. And that gets you back to the top of the order. Here come the heavy sticks.
Yeah, and bunting with 2 strikes is not easy whatsoever. Like you said, there's an art to that. You have to be able to and willing to give yourself up and really, you know, handle the bat, because if you don't get it down the right way, not only may you foul it out or strike out or whatever, you don't get that sacrifice. That's it in that bat given away. And we saw the home run and the power going the opposite field. This is what he does so well. He's been able to hit the ball all over the field, doesn't try to pull, very patient, and you get yourself the birdhouse.
We have not seen the birdhouse yet today. 1 and 2. So Hoover would go to second on the wild pitch. Giles able to sacrifice him over. Got the runner coming down the line at third. Norby ground ball up the middle. Nice play. Brooks dives, throw to first. Not in time. Going to be an infield RBI single on the Pirates. Expand the lead to 4-0.
An incredible effort by Brooks to even get to this ball. And it's deep up the middle as we get another look. Hard hit ball. Brooks gets to it, dives, makes a nice play, pops up the throw, but Norby's speed just allows him to be safe and gets his team another run on this board.
That is going to be it for Wimberley today. Boy, the pitches added up throughout the ball game. Some wild pitches, walked 4, and they end up catching up with him here in the 4th inning as Darren Schoenrock is out to the mound, and the Tigers are going to the bullpen. Here at the bottom of the 4th, the Pirates lead it 4-0. Well, Wimberley's day is done. They're going to turn it over to Logan Walters. 6'1", 182-pound redshirt junior right-hander out of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and came by way of Motlow State Community College. And he will take over for, again, Wimberley again, as Logan Walters 1-1, 6 outings, 1 start, a 13.00 ERA, 9 innings this year, 9 walks, 9 strikeouts, 400 average against, and he is trying to get the Tigers out of this jam and keep this a 4-run lead and not let this inning blow up. And he's got a challenge. Francisco, Moylan, and Worrell coming up 2, 3, and 4 with Norby on first. Winner trying to advance to tomorrow's 9 Eastern, 8 Central semi-final ball game. A loser is done for this week. If it's Memphis, their season's done. If it's ECU, if Memphis rallies, they'll head home and they will anxiously await Sunday night's hosting show. Find out the 16 host, and then Monday's selection show. You got to feel, Xavier, of ECU with a 4-0 lead. They look pretty good right now behind Gavin Williams. Get the second win in the tournament. Should solidify that host site. If they continue to win, all of a sudden they're kind of moving up in seeding, thinking, well, not only do you get the host site, maybe that outside chance. Get one of those big seats where you can host all the way through. But they'd like to be in Greenville at Clark LeClaire Stadium next week.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge motivating factor for them to come out of this losers bracket and still be able to win this thing. They have to continue to play good baseball.
Here we go. Walters ready to go. Francisco grounded to first, and he also hit into a 4-6-3 double play. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. Back to first. Again, the one thing we haven't really been able to see this week, and we know he's got it, but when you hit the 3 home runs, you don't have to show it off, is Norby's speed. 15 stolen bases. Very good out there. He does a little bit of everything. A 1 pitch out, throw behind by DeBose, gets into right field. There goes Norby. He'll make the turn. He'll stay at second base. So the error on DeBose gives yet another free base, and the free base is really adding up for ECU.
And you're at a point in this game right now, if you're Memphis, you can't afford to give any more free passes. Looks like a slight pitch out. And I have no problem with Du Bois trying to backpick Norby there, but if you're the first baseman in Howell, you have to box that up. You have to keep that in front because you see that's not a good throw. You see that's a throw that's going to be in the dirt. You have to keep that ball in front of you.
So yet another RBI opportunity here now. Thomas Francisco a chance to make it 5-0 Pirates. Swing and a miss. Sort of way high, then broke down just a little bit. Walters with a runner at second. Leaves it down and away.
Another thing for me on this back pick, this pitch out, is a lot of times if you want to get a ball to throw to first base behind the lefty, that might be better for you to move toward that right side. But instead, Dubois is moving toward his left, toward the right-handed batter side, and that's just not going to be a good angle to throw.
Time called at the plate by Francisco. 364, 10 home runs, 41 driven in. 362 hitter with runners in scoring position. Breaking ball, and he drills one, but that one is going to be foul. That's the grandstand down in the equipment area here at Baycare Ballpark. So Walters brings the 3-2 again. Breaking ball, high fly ball in the right field. Bell is back at the wall, and Bell reaches up, but not high enough. And Thomas Francisco with a 2-run homer, is 11th of the year. RBIs 42 and 43.
And we talked about Francisco at the start of this thing. One of my key players for today, because Norby is known to get pitched around. He's got to be able to provide that protection, and he was able to do that with that swing right there. He sees the flags blowing way out to right, and look at the swing right here. Smooth, compact, bat drop, and just let it blow out. I mean, look, he had to check it, double check, make sure that thing went out, because he thought it was a pop-up. And you know what you get after that? The birdhouse.
Josh Moylan now at the plate, and ECU's open this thing up 6-0. So we've seen the slam dunk, the birdhouse. We did see Houston while they were here. They did have the Thor's hammer. 1 and 2.
I feel like every team has something nowadays. I like even in the major leagues, I think it's the Red Sox that have the guy go in the laundry cart down the dugout.
Fly ball, deep left field. Bibiloni going back, and he'll make the catch on the run in the corner. And Moylan nearly went opposite field, gave it a nice ride.
Francisco, just going back to that swing, shortened up, got a pitch that was middle in, a tough pitch to get to a little bit, and just basically rotated through that baseball. And a lot of times as hitters, we find ourselves breaking down our upper body and lower body, doing two different things. He was able to, it's almost like they put a pole right through his head all the way down through the ground, and he just rotated through that pole. Such a smooth swing that he has, the ability to pull balls a long way.
1-0. There's the strike, now 1-1.
And that's another reason why Norby can be so selective, because he has a guy in Francisco behind him today. And that gives you so much more confidence as a player to be able to say, I don't have to go and try to get a base. I don't have to be anxious. I can take my walks. And when you bat .425, you're able to take your walks.
I'd be concerned right now if I was on the Memphis pitching staff, because as we look out there, that wind now beginning to really start to pick up. Wasn't as breezy earlier today, but now picking up here. Two is low. And another walk issued. And the Pirates with another runner aboard here for Zach Agnos, who had the RBI double last inning. Wes McNichol making a call, looks like out to the pen, so they're going to start moving again in left field. That'll be Walker Brockhouse, a right-hander who has just begun to throw. When ideally, if you're Cliff Godwin right now, you're thinking 6-0 lead, keep the pressure on. We've got Gavin Williams going. If we could get a CG out of him, shorten this ball game, you're set up pretty well. You still have to face a very, very good UCF team tomorrow that hits the ball really well, but you want everyone ready to go. So expanding this lead over the next 3 innings and continuing to get Williams to pitch well could be key if he doesn't have to dip into his bullpen tomorrow or today.
Yeah, best starter on the mound for ECU. You're thinking put the runs up, try to get out of this thing early if he keeps throwing the way that he's throwing today. And if I'm Memphis, we got to come in, try to do whatever we can to throw strikes, get the early outs, get our guys back into the dugout so we can try to put up some of these runs and catch them.
1-0 is high, now 2-0. And the issue a lot of times with Memphis this year has been they've gotten some decent starts. We know with Metoxen, they've got the closing ability. That's college baseball. We talk about you're going to go as far as your pitching takes you, but really it's how far is that middle relief going to take you in the college game. You're usually going to have some quality starters, that closer, but in between, how good can you be?
Right, and those are the guys that got to bridge the gap. Those are the guys that got to come in throwing strikes. They've got to show conviction with all of their pitches. They've got to be ready to go from the jump.
3-0, back-to-back walks. And this is where big innings come from. Darren Schoenrock making his way up to the top step, not out there yet. He talks about pitchers, he uses the term top steppers. I'm going to walk up to the top step. He gets a strikeout. Let me get back down. And he walks in and let me come back up to the top step and bounces back and forth. He's going to have Russ McNichol come out and talk to him, the Tiger pitching coach. This is a key part of the game. If Makarevich gets a hold of one, drives it in the alley, scores another 2 runs, ECU's really, really thinking run rule type of ball game, because Memphis has shown no threat against Gavin Williams. Williams has been absolutely dominating today.
Yeah, that's, you know, if you're ECU, you've got to continue to think, be aggressive. You know, however I can continue to push along runs, because you talked about it, setting yourself up, having that recovery, even if it's a couple of innings, that's what they're going to look to do and be able to set your bullpen up moving forward. But Memphis not out of this one. It's about getting out of this inning and then seeing what you can piece together.
Makarevich today singled back in the first. He would score. He had strikeout last inning. 288 hitter with 6 home runs, 29 driven in. Yes, Worrell at second, Agnos over at first. First pitch, swing and a miss, and it got away. Now the runners are caught in between, but they will retreat. They were not sure how far that got away from DuBose, and to be honest, I think at first they thought that may have been a foul tip.
Yeah, DuBose didn't even see Agnos over at first base, was way off the bag. That's one of those ones, if you're Howell, you got to be screaming, 1, 1, 1.
Oh, 1 is low to even it up at a ball and a strike. Walters 2 looks back to the bag, swing and a miss. So Walters' offering is fouled just above Cadell on the on-deck circle.
I like the way Walters is starting to attack a little bit more. Seems like he's finding a little bit of a rhythm here in this at-bat against Makarevich.
Goes after one high. Pirates got 2 in the second, 1 in the third. They've scored 3 so far here in the fourth. Meanwhile, Gavin Williams has limited Memphis to just 2 hits in the game. Off speed, grounded to second. Went after one a little high and away. And that will end the inning. But the Pirates tack on 3 more runs in the inning. They did it on a couple of hits. They'll leave 2 men on. Through 4, it's 6-0 ECU. You'll grab a boat or whatever you want to. Go through Clearwater Pass to head over to Clearwater Beach. Beautiful scenery there. So much to do. And again, we thank Julia Bolford for joining us earlier today from Visit St. Pete Clearwater. Just told us about all the beaches around here, all the nightlife. 2 top 10 beaches in the country here. So plenty to do. You live in the area and you know all the spots. I won't have you give out your secret spot. Probably head out where the tourists aren't to have your family time.
That's what I'm saying. I can't give out the secret spots. All the tourists are coming now, so.
Top of the 5th inning, and Memphis trying to generate some offense, and it has been hard to do today against Gavin Williams. 4 innings, just 2 hits, a walk. He has struck out 7. First pitch, pop up into right field. Coming on is Hoover, and there's 1 away. That's kind of what you talked about. You want to be aggressive, but right now Williams getting these really low pitch outs. First pitch out. Here's Evan Bell. He struck out back in the second. He's a guy that really labors. He's gotten a little bit better as the season's gone along. He'll get you on a fastball, but it's hard to lay off the sliders. He put one up there, and Bell deposits into the left field.
Yeah, and you see first thing Memphis is trying to do is they're trying to be aggressive. Swinging at Brooks swung at the first pitch. Bell swung at the first pitch. So they're trying to get something going early before Williams can get ahead in the count and put them away. He's been doing that for most of the day. Looks like Memphis is trying to jump on him early in the count.
Brennan DeBose at the plate with Bell at first. Comes down and in. That'll miss for a ball on DeBose. They'll have Agnos in at third. Pirates have turned 30 double plays this year. Memphis has grounded into 21. DeBose ground ball. That's going to get through. So the freshman catcher gets ahead in his first tournament ball game. First and second, that'll flip it to the top of the order while the Bottom of the order to set the table for the top. Let's see what 1, 2, and 3 can do for the Tigers. Zach Wilson's 0 for 1 with a walk today.
That's a big knock by DeBose, just to keep that momentum going for Memphis. Taking advantage of being up in the count, 1-0. Looking to get it going early. I like the approach right now from Memphis.
Williams will look back twice. Swinging a miss by Wilson. If Memphis can continue to set the table, they're not far off here. Bibiloni on deck. Goodman in the hole. Trella 2 spots away. And you never know. For Memphis, they've got to have a sense of urgency. Could potentially be their last best chance here against Williams. Holds back on that swing.
And now with Gavin Williams watching the last couple of Memphis hitters being aggressive, I wonder if he'll change his approach and go to off speed a little bit earlier now in the count to mix it up.
Flashes the bunt at the strike.
The thing with Williams is he has such an electric fastball that a lot of times, even if it does get hit, it's not going to be barreled up. So even if his fastball induces that weak contact, there's opportunity for a double play, obviously.
Now 1-2. Popped him up. Has a little carry due to the wind, but not enough. In center field, it's going to be Worrell. The runner will tag up from second as Bell will jog over. 2 away on the fly out by Wilson. That'll bring up Bibiloni. Bibiloni over 2 with a pair of strikeouts today. Well, Bibiloni not going to be charged with really needing a hit here to drive one. Get the next guy up, who is Hunter Goodman. They really want Goodman here batting with men on, not leading an inning off.
Yeah, Bibiloni's had a tough time seeing the ball today with 2 strikeouts. He's hoping to maybe push something over to that right side, get a base hit through the 4-hole.
Popped him up in the infield. Francisco, the first baseman, will end the inning. So the Tigers threaten early, but Williams shuts the door. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 left on base halfway through. It's all Pirates. They lead it 6-0. Well, it's getting that time. Maybe early dinner or late lunch. We're getting toward 3 o'clock there, Xavier.
Jeff, our production team, they know how to play with me. They know when I start getting a little bit hungry, they keep showing me that good food. I don't know why they keep doing that. If they want me to cut out early, I'll do it. Don't test me.
You can go there for fine dining and grab you some bar food out at Frenchie's, have a cold one, enjoy the game from left field, and keep peeking out there. They got a nice crew under the tiki hut today. They're in the shade. There you go. If you look up under there, Pirate fans enjoying the afternoon, waiting for a ball to be launched up there. Probably won't be too far away, Xavier, until we may look up there and take a look around and see a couple of black and gold shirts, a couple of green shirts, getting ready for the next game. Little pre-gaming for the parents and the family and the friends, and then the teams will make their way in.
Yeah, well, the players are pre-gaming over there in the backfields, trying to get their swings right in batting practice. Parents will be over there at Frenchie's pre-game.
6-0 ECU. Pirates scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth. It'll be Cadell, Hoover, and Giles. Cadell over 2. He did reach on the Trella error back in the second. Pirates got to be thinking, you know, we don't need a big inning at this point. Couple of runs here or there by the time they get to the 7th. Maybe sitting around a 10-run ball game, because right now Gavin Williams. That was his biggest threat that Memphis provided him in the 5th, and then he came back and shut the door to the 0-1. There's a strike. Take a look at that run rule. It's in effect for every game except the championship.
You know, I think we'll see. Not I think, actually, I know Coach Godwin is going to play for at least one run here. If he gets a guy on, he'll be playing that small ball.
One-two goes after the pitch high. One away, and that'll bring up Hoover. Sacrificing a walk. So Brockhouse on the mound for the Tigers.
Brockhouse going right after him. This is what you want to see. If you're a fan of the Memphis side, he's going right after these hitters. You want to see him working at a good pace. Offer opportunity for that offense to get back in there and find a way to get going.
0-2, and Brockhouse works quickly, as you mentioned. Over to short. Brooks in time, a little low, but Howell able to make a stretch and a dig. What was tougher for you, Xavier, coming up, or even playing at the big league level, a guy that likes to work fast or a guy that slows it down?
As a hitter, the guy that likes to work fast is tough. Because you feel like you don't have enough time to really relax, take a breather in between pitches, recollect yourself, try to figure out what your approach is. Those guys are really tough to hit. So, but on the defensive side, you love those guys. You absolutely love them. So you know action is happening fast. Keeps you engaged in the game. But as a hitter, you feel rushed.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
0-2 here on Giles. Upstairs now 1-2.
A lot of times those quicker pace guys, those guys with a little bit faster delivery, it's tougher for the guys who have leg kicks because those are tougher to time up.
Fly ball into center. Should be a 1-2-3 inning, and it is, as Wilson retreats to make the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We're going to the 6th, and it's 6-0 ECU. Well, here we go. After you get some of that good food, Xavier, I know you're out on the jet ski.
That's my sport right there. You know, maybe not while you're playing baseball during the season.
Yeah.
You've got to jump on the jet skis at some point during the offseason.
Do you have one of those clauses in your contract? I know they put them in the big leaguers' contracts now. Did you have a no jet ski clause?
You know, they say they're in the contract, but I never saw something like that. That's what they say, but I read the fine print, Jeff, and I didn't see anything like that.
The agent didn't say anything about that.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention it. We're going on to the 6th inning here, and ECU leading at 6-0 over the Memphis Tigers. And Hunter Goodman coming to the plate. A couple of strikeouts today. Gavin Williams, one of his 7 Ks on the afternoon. Gavin sitting at 71 pitches. Fouled it off right side, and if Memphis is going to find a way to start getting back into this thing, they're going to need a Goodman or a Trell or somebody to get going. Right now, the 2 through 5 hitters are just 1 for 9 in the ball game, and that was a single by Howell in the 4th. 5 strikeouts from 2 through 5 in the order as well. Now Goodman down 0-2.
This is the power matchup that we talked about a little bit earlier. 2 of the best in the league right here, going head to head. Awesome matchup to see.
Struck him out on 3 straight. Wow, what a performance by Gavin Williams.
Yeah, just does such a great job of changing speeds. We talked about earlier, when you have to gear up for a fastball like his, it makes you so susceptible to that off speed. You feel like you got to go get it. And oftentimes you end up lunging to try to get that ball and taking those one-hand swings that you saw Goodman just take.
There was your 3-time Coach of the Year leading this ECU program. He's got to be, Coach Godwin's got to be really happy with what he has seen here this afternoon between Gavin Williams and his offense. And it's going to be if this stands, and right now, again, the Pirates have total control of this ball game. If it stands, it'll be a quick turnaround to tomorrow's 9 a.m. game. Trella ground out to short, a ground out back to Williams. Pirates will need to win 2 tomorrow if they're going to get to Sunday. 1-1. And you know, once you get to a Saturday, if you're coming through the losers bracket, that's when kind of the seeding goes out the window. You've had to play the extra game, and the team you play, and it'll be UCF. They'll be on their number 3 guy. You'll be on your number 4 guy, and if you're lucky enough to win that, then it really goes to 4 to. Usually in the regular season you have a 5th guy, but they didn't play midweeks during the league season, so now you're trying to piece that in there, and the seeding just kind of goes out of the window. Who can piece it together for 18 innings?
Yeah, at that point it doesn't matter. Like you said, seedings are out the window. It's battle time. All hands on deck. Whoever is available. All injuries get thrown out the window too. Bring your A game.
2-2. And you know Greg Lovelady, head coach for UCF, and any coach that's in a winner's bracket tomorrow, him or Billy Moll for USF, you don't ever go into Saturday thinking, well, they've got to beat us twice to just roll through this. You're thinking we want to knock it out first game. We don't want to go to that second game.
Out of the way, get it out of the way, get it done. Don't wait around, because that's when stuff starts to happen.
Trella takes it down and in.
I'm a big fan of Trella and his approach at the plate. Big, strong dude, but stays inside the ball very well. Good plate discipline. And this is a tough pitcher he's facing, so it's good to see the way he's been able to at least see him in the zone.
Takes it outside, so Trella's aboard for the first time today. A 1-out walk for Taylor Howell coming up. Williams hoping for double play, might get it. Agnos over to second, to first, around the horn. 5-4-3, double play, the 31st of the year that ECU has turned. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We move along here in Clearwater, 6-0 Pirates. Here on Elimination Friday at the American Baseball Championships, top seed and regular season champion ECU leading the 8th seed Memphis Tigers by a score of 6-0. And Brockhouse stays out there, and he was able to retire ECU for the first time this game, 1-2-3. So something Memphis needed, somebody out of the bullpen to at least put on the brakes a little bit, try to give them a chance to regroup here, try to make some sort of a push in the back half of this ball game.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way he was able to come out of the bullpen, ready to go, attacking the zone early and often. He's got to continue to do that, especially at the top of this order.
He's got a big challenge here in Connor Norby, who's been on 3 times, a pair of walks and an RBI single. Norby is 5 for 8 with 3 home runs this week.
I mean, you talk about somebody that looks comfortable at the dish. He looks like he's just in his backyard taking batting practice, you know, maybe at his home field. So comfortable at the dish right now. But he's been all season.
Ground ball to Trella. And there's 1 out. So Walker Brockhouse 4 in a row. That'll bring up Francisco, who had the shot to right field in the 4th inning.
If I'm Thomas Francisco, I'm doing everything I can to try to pull something in the air because it is howling out to right.
Down and away.
This might be one of those times you get on the dish, and if he throws you something out away, you got to pull it.
It's listed at about 11 miles an hour, but definitely gusting stronger at times, as in right now. Two one on the inside, and hitters count at 3-1 now. You can sit on one. Well, they'll take the walk. That's the first runner that Brockhouse has allowed. Leaves it up and away. From Brockhouse, he went after Cadell, Hoover, and Giles. Now started to kind of dance around a little bit out there, the strike zone. Moylan over 2 with a walk. Leaves it up high.
Yeah, I think he got a little slider happy with Francisco, and now with Moylan, I think he's got to get back to the middle of the zone a little bit better.
Fouled it. Back to the left just a bit. More on the DH, and you got Worrell on deck, who's over 2 with a walk. Two-one now from Brockhouse. Nope, back to first. Francisco over at the bag with 4 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 5 times. Up and out. There's that soft throw behind over the right-hander. We saw that earlier, and that's when DeBose had it in the dirt against Norby. Howell, unable to square it up, went to right field.
Yeah, DeBose just trying to catch Francisco off guard over there, not paying attention. Staying heads up.
3-1. Swing and a miss now, full count.
Yeah, and if I'm Moylan here, it's still aggressive. 3-2, looking to drive something. Got a guy at first base, looking to drive into RBI with the double. Get us to an opportunity of a big lead.
One hopper, that's going to get out the middle. Francisco going to third. It'll be 1st and 3rd for ECU. Now Baskin going to his right. That short hop, lunging, just makes it off the glove.
Yeah, really good swing here. That was going to be a tough play for Baskin to make. One step to his right. He would have made a Gold Glove play if that ball would have been winning his glove there.
So here's Bryson Worrell. Over 2. He's had a ground out to second. Fly out to center. He walked in the 4th. 1 for 10 this week. Is 1 hit, though, a home run. And there's James Muse getting loose. He'll take the strike on the outer half.
Yeah, and try to induce some soft contact. If you're Brockhouse here, looking to get out of this inning with a double play, he has the slider. If he's got to keep that down, he's got to really keep that down in order to get an offer at a swing and weak contact.
0-1 to Worrell.
It's a good spot there. I like that spot right there for Brockhouse.
Outside now, 2-1 advantage count for Worrell. Worrell this year 286 with runners in scoring position. He has 8 home runs, 12 doubles. Moylan over at first base without a stolen base attempt this year. And looked like DeBose called time, wanted to go out there and talk to Brockhouse real quick.
Yeah, they're going to look to definitely get on the same page here. Worrell, the cleanup hitter today, he's going to be looking for something up in the zone. If you're Brockhouse, you want to be able to find a way to find a hole in his swing right now, because a ground ball double play will be huge.
High fly ball hit deep to right field, and that one is gone. That may be the second one we have seen get out of this entire ballpark of the week. Wow.
That was a big-time swing from a big-time hitter in the cleanup spot. Worrell gets himself in a 2-1 count, able to get a pitch from Brockhouse, middle up in the zone, and absolutely demolished it over the palm trees out there in right field. Let's get another look at this thing. Short, up through that ball. He knows it's gone immediately. He's carrying that bat all the way to first base. That thing got out of the stadium.
The second one we've seen do that here this week. There's somebody walking around the concourse looking for it, or jump that fence for you to go get it.
Yeah, they better get the scale in. No, that ain't the ball right there, because that ball was smashed over that fence.
1-1. Maybe looking for a hole in the fence to crawl through to go get it.
Yeah, because that ball was hit so hard and so high. And then you look at the wind. We've been talking about it all day. The thing was just blowing that ball even further out. Bell knew immediately off the bat that that thing was out over his head. Just gave the courtesy look, but that ball was absolutely demolished.
Full count to Zach Agnos, who had an RBI double in the third. He is 2 for 8 this week. Well, we talked about it. Brockhouse is really attacking the hitters an inning ago at 1-2-3, and he went at Norby. Then all of a sudden, it seemed like his approach changed and started throwing some off speed on the outside, inside, and was getting behind in the counts.
That's what happens when you get behind. You put yourself in a situation to where guys can sit on one pitch and look to drive it, and that's exactly what Worrell did, and he did his job. He's in the cleanup spot. He cleaned up those bases. I'll tell you that right there.
You know, Memphis is in, as the Kenny Loggins song went, in the danger zone. One more run, and ECU's 3 outs away from ending this game early. Darren Schoenrock's coming out. That's going to do it for Brockhouse. Started off well, retired their first 4 that he faced, but the last 4 have reached base. And Bryson Worrell reached it in a big way with a 3-run bomb to right field. Memphis is going to head to the bullpen. ECU leading at 9-0 in the potential winning run as Zach Agnos. He sits over at first base as James Muse is making his way out. We'll tell you about him when we come back. 9-0 Pirates down here in Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater in the American Conference Championships. Chance to get out, cruise around the St. Pete Clearwater area. Well, you got that nice car you can take off the top. Drive around.
Top-down weather. That's the one thing about Tampa here is, you know, especially early in the year and the fall. Like, you get that top-down weather. You got one of them whips like that. You can throw it down and have the wind going through your hair. Get yourself a nice ride.
Well, when you played, we've talked about it several times, either in New Orleans on your way up or in Memphis on your way up. There's a finite amount of time you can take the top off, because then the humidity just drops on top of you. They just take the top off the car. It's so hot and humid.
I still remember the first day I walked from that airport, got into Memphis. I stepped outside. I said, "Whoa, I just got hit by the oven." I literally thought I was in an oven. That thing, whoo-wee.
You needed the oven mitt.
I needed something. I'll tell you that right there. I was carrying around one of those misters all the time because I was like, I need to find a way to cool off. You know those little, you know, on the baby strollers, they'll have the misters and then they'll have the little fans? That's what I was carrying around all the time.
Here is a right-hander for the Tigers, redshirt senior out of Germantown, Tennessee. Went to Christian Brothers High School. James Muse coming in to throw, trying to give the Tigers a chance to keep playing baseball. Muse 1-0 in 12 outings and a start at 6.54 ERA. 31 2/3 of an inning, 12 walks, 19 strikeouts, a 336 average against. Tigers down 9-0 to the regular season champs, ECU, and Muse delivers the ones up high to Makarevich. Runner goes in the dirt. DeBose throw a little bit on the third base side, so Agnos gets the stolen base. So they want that runner in scoring position, a chance to drive it in with 2 outs and get to 10 runs. Memphis still has to hit in the 7th if they get to 10 runs.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, trying to push across a few runs to get to that 10-run rule spot. Save them a lot of pitching moving forward.
2-0. Line drive to center, and Wilson came in. It's going to get over his head, and ECU is going to get that 10th run. There goes Makarevich on his way to third with an RBI triple.
And Makarevich, he absolutely laced this ball to center field. Wilson just totally misplayed it. That's one of those toughest balls, the ones right at you. If you don't see that backspin, you don't know that that ball's hit that hard. This ball is absolutely smashed to center field. We saw Wilson take a step forward, and then it was back and try to jump up and catch it. He knew by then it had already beat him. There's that 10th run that ECU has been looking for.
Wiley Johnson comes in the game. He's going to pinch run at third. So Makarevich goes to third, and he'll be able to probably enjoy the rest of this ball game with the Pirates up 10-0. So again, Riley Johnson over at third base with Seth Cadell at the plate. The 1-0 Popped him up. DeBose, Howell, Muse calling for it for the second out. It's rare that you see a pitcher take the pop up on the infield.
Really rare. If I'm the first base, get out of there. Get out of there, because that's, you know, you see all too often when the pitchers try to field that fly ball, it a lot of times hits a drop. So, but luckily he secured the catch and he's got himself 2 outs.
Lane Hoover 0 for 1. He's had a sac bunt where he brought a run in. He has walked, grounded to short.
Talking about that fly ball, I remember spring training time working with Albert Pujols with the Cardinals when I had first came up in the organization, and it was, hey, when we get a fly ball even close to us, you're yelling at the pitcher, get out of there. Don't even try to attempt to catch something, because we don't want you handling the baseball.
Two-0 from the right-hander Muse. Gets a strike call on the outside, 2-1. And that one will miss. Hitters count. And he walks. That'll bring up Ryder Giles, who is 1 for 2, had an RBI single on the second. In the 7th inning, Baskin, Brooks, and Bell scheduled to come to the plate for Memphis, trying to keep their season alive. Breaking ball called strike on the inside.
And I've been in this situation in tournament play, you know, actually on both sides of the ball. Memphis side, when your chances are looking really slim and there's almost no glimmer of hope. You're looking around in the dugout seeing, okay, let's stay encouraged. Let's make sure we, you know, we're staying at it. Don't get down right now. We've had a long, tough season. There's no reason for us to feel like we have no chance right now. So they're looking for something small to keep them encouraged over there in that dugout. It's tough right now, though. But you have to remember all the time and effort that you put in all throughout this season, how much you've enjoyed being with your boys. You think about all the time in the offseason, in the weight room, you know, all the time last year when you didn't even get to play. All those things have to come into your memory now and say, okay, we got to push out just a little bit more encouragement, stay up, and finish this thing strong.
There's Darren Schoenrock, 17th year at the helm of the University of Memphis. A lot of times things might not show up. We're all focused on bottom lines, wins and losses, championships, but what he's done with that program. I know this year, a very down year, just the 18 wins, but the amount of 30 win years that he's had, trying to get some stability to that program, raising some money, the renovations of the ballpark, hitting facilities. He's trying to raise money now to resurface their ballpark, trying to get that field turf, redo the wall in the outfield from where that program has come when he took over in that first year in 2005, the spring of 2005.
Yeah, so many of those things get overlooked. And another thing is how much these managers have an effect, these coaches have an effect on these players as young men and their maturity, and plays a big part in all that they go through.
Norby started the inning off, grounding the third. And now that's going to be the Memphis closer, Dakota Metoxen, coming in. Here comes Darren Schoenrock, and he's going to bring Metoxen in. He's trying to close this and keep it 10. That way Memphis needs to scratch out a run to keep the game alive in the top half of the 7th. But the day It's done for James Muse, 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 walks. Hasn't given up a run, but all 3 runners on the bases are going to be his if they score. Meanwhile, the Pirates, they've got 4 runs in the inning. They've got that critical 10-run lead, 10-0 Pirates here in the 6th. Here in the bottom of the 6th, the bases are loaded with 2 outs for ECU, and they lead the Tigers by a score of 10-0. And Darren Schoenrock going to go to his closer, Dakota Matoxin, to try to keep it where it is and give Memphis a chance to scratch out a run or 2 and keep their season alive once they get to the top of the inning. And he'll hand it over to the 6-foot, 209-pound right-hander, a senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Franklin High School, Dakota Matoxin, who's really done a nice job this year. Had a little shoulder soreness earlier this year, but once that kind of went away, his velocity's come up. He's a guy that's been, he's that guy that's been on the cusp in his career and kind of broke through, leaned out a little bit, got that fitness and the nutrition, and he's a guy they think here in the July draft is going to have an opportunity maybe to be picked up by somebody.
Yeah, I was really impressed by him the other day. He's got some good stuff. I like the way he attacks hitters. He's not afraid. You can tell he's a bulldog out there on the mound. He's going to give your team a chance to win every time he goes out there. But right now, in a situation that he normally doesn't see himself in too often.
Matoxin 0-1 in 18 outings, 5 saves, 3.09 ERA, 23 1/3 innings, 4 walks to 29 strikeouts. There's some Pirate fans hoping to get out of here a little early and get to the beach in the late afternoon. So here we go. You've got the pinch runner Johnson at 3rd, Hoover at 2nd, Giles at 1st. 2 outs for Norby. Norby, fly ball to right field. Bell going back, and Norby off the top of the wall. Oh, close to the grand slam.
Look, Norby even knows that he was hoping that ball went out, but that hit right off at the top of the wall. Get another look at it. See Norby here. He knows how to go with the wind.
Woo. Doesn't get much closer.
Yeah, that was too close.
Norby nearly adding a 4th home run. He'll take a 2-run single out of it. Those are big runs for the Pirates too. Gives them a little breathing room to shorten the game. Not that they needed any with Gavin Williams throwing 6 shutout innings so far to close the door in the 7th.
And I think one of the things that's impressed me so much about Norby is he goes foul pole to foul pole. It doesn't matter where that ball's pitched. He knows how to hit it exactly where it needs to go.
Slow roller to first. Hal has it. Will end the inning. 6-run inning for ECU. They lead at 12-0. A chance to finish this game early when we come back. This is the American on ESPN+. Looking for something fun to do? Set your sights on St. Pete Clearwater for award-winning beaches, high-energy attractions, major league sports, and over 40 craft breweries make every visitor a fan. Start planning at visitstpeteclearwater.com. And we thank again Julie Bolfa from Visit St. Pete Clearwater for joining us earlier in this ball game. And Xavier, if we didn't know what there was to do in this area before, she laid it out, man. If you're if you're bringing the family in, you got a lot of stuff to do. If you don't have the family and you want to get out at night, there's tons of stuff to do as well.
Oh, you know what she did is she laid out the buffet of things to do. Just pick and choose. You can do it once, do it twice, keep doing it over again. And there's everything. There's something for everybody here.
Well, we go to the 7th. When you look at the pitch count, 81. Single-digit pitch inning, 11, 13. Gavin Williams has dominated the Memphis Tigers today. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, ahead of Baskin 0-1. 0-2 as he takes a strike on the inside.
And Gavin right back to work, not playing around, going right after these Memphis hitters. He knows how important it is to save pitches, save bullets, and just get it done and over with.
The 0-2. Foul him off right side out of play. Our next game, Wichita State and Tulane. Second elimination game. The two Florida schools are waiting for the winners. UCF and Greg Lovelady waiting for the winner of this game tomorrow, which looks like it's going to be the Pirates. The 0-2. Leaves it downstairs, could not get Baskin to go after it.
And that's another thing that I like that Williams has incorporated too, is just that off speed. He went basically from the first inning to the fourth and fifth inning with that fastball, really gassing him away. And then it was after that, incorporating more of that slider, more of the swing and miss down in the zone. He's been using all of his pitches.
Goes after the high fastball, swing and a miss, 1 out.
And he just throws so hard. It's hard for the hitters not to gear up for that fastball. And when you're gearing up, it's almost like you'll swing right out of hand because, I see it, I got to go get it, and it's too late. It's already by me, and it's too high.
Big swing that time by Brooks. That's what we've got next. Wichita State and Tulane. That's going to be a fun one to see. Green Wave and the Shockers.
Do we get to watch that one too, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Back-to-back baseball. Man, this has been amazing.
Slow roller to third. And there's 2 away on a bang-bang play, and the Tigers down to the last out of the game and the season. He pitches again for Gavin Williams this inning. Evan Bell 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single. Bell's the guy, first time we've seen him in the tournament. Good fastball hitter, but he's a guy that traditionally has just not been able to lay off the sliders. He's become a little bit more disciplined in the back half of the season. A junior, if he could hone in that discipline on the sliders, could really be a threat next year for Darren Schwanrock's Tigers.
And that's great to hear because, as a player, that's what you're always looking to do, is progress and get better, find out what your weaknesses are and hone in on those things, and throughout the progression of a season find ways to work on those things, even when you're not playing as much as you wish you could be.
Tigers down to the last strike. Williams trying to shut the door. Swing and a miss, got him, and the Pirates will run rule the Tigers. And they're moving on to the semifinals. 3 days after Memphis Run rule to ECU. The Pirates get the rematch. They take advantage of it with a dominating 12-0 shutout of Memphis.
Just a masterful performance by Williams today. So impressive to watch him go about his business, navigating this Memphis lineup, tearing it apart with both fastball, slider, curveball. He had everything working today, changing speed so well, put his team on the back, said, I'll take care of this. You guys put up some runs.
12-0 ECU. We are back to Clearwater after this. Pirates are moving on to the semifinals. A 12-0 shutout of the Memphis Tigers today. So the Tigers are eliminated on Elimination Friday. Meanwhile, ECU is moving on. A big reason for that, Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Just the second complete game in American Conference tournament history. And Gavin, I know you guys probably after Tuesday were chomping at the bit to get a rematch with the Tigers.
Yes, sir, we were.
Gavin, Xavier Scruggs here. Gavin, I was wondering, how did you feel going into this game, and what did you feel like you needed to do as far as game plan against these Memphis Tigers?
I felt pretty good. I just had to go out there, command the strike zone, and let everybody else behind me work. So, timely hits when we needed them.
And the real important question, will you be able to come back tomorrow or Sunday if needed?
If needed, yeah. It's just throwing a baseball in the strike zone, so I can go whenever I need to.
Gavin, last one for me. What does the offense need to do in order to continue to put up big runs? That way they can support the starting pitching.
Just keep doing the same thing we've been doing. Take pitches when we need to. Score when there's runners on third, score them. That's all we need to do, really.
All right, Gavin, thanks for taking some time to join us. Congratulations, and go get them tomorrow in the semis.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is Gavin Williams, the starting pitcher for ECU. Again, outstanding with the shutout. 7 innings, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, just the second complete game in conference tournament history. He was dominating, and you know, Coach Godwin's got the team set up exactly how he wants it to go in tomorrow with a complete game in the short game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is knowing that you have your bullpen totally rested. Guys got days off, and they'll be fresh and ready to go because the biggest games are coming up in the next couple of days.
Well, it'll be UCF and ECU tomorrow, 9 Eastern, 8 Central for Game 1 of the semifinals. What will Game 2 be? We know the USF Bulls are waiting. Coming up next, Wichita State and Tulane. For everyone involved behind the scenes from L2 Productions, Xavier Scruggs, I'm Jeff Rival. Thanks for joining us. This is The American on ESPN+.